If your mind just won't slow down tonight, let this be your reminder. You don't have to carry every thought with you into the night. For the next little while, you don't need to solve anything. You don't need to worry about tomorrow. You don't need to figure everything out. Just let yourself be still. Let the warmth of the fire, the quiet of the night, and the peace of God's Word gently lead your heart toward rest. If these Bible readings bring you peace, consider subscribing so you can return whenever you need a quiet place to rest. And before we begin, tell us in the comments what country you're listening from tonight. Now, wherever you are, take a slow breath and let your shoulders relax. Father, thank you for being our peace. Tonight, quiet every anxious thought and every worry that has followed us into this moment. Remind us that we don't have to carry tomorrow tonight. You are in control. You are near, and we are safe in your hands. As we listen to your word, let your peace settle gently over our hearts and minds. May this night become a place of stillness, comfort, and rest. In Jesus' name, amen. Now, no more thinking for tonight. Just listen, breathe, and rest in God's word. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in the paths of righteousness, for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For you are with me, your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me, in the presence of mine enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup runs over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Take a moment now and simply let those words settle into your heart. The Lord is my shepherd, not a distant shepherd, not a shepherd who watches from far away, a shepherd who is near, a shepherd who knows the path, a shepherd who sees the places you cannot see, a shepherd who understands where you have been, where you are now, and where you are going. Tonight, you do not have to know everything. You do not have to understand everything. You do not have to have every answer before you close your eyes. The shepherd knows the way, and perhaps that is enough for tonight. Perhaps you have spent much of the day carrying responsibilities that nobody else could see. Perhaps you smiled when you were tired. Perhaps you answered people when you wanted silence. Perhaps you kept working when your mind was already asking for rest. Perhaps there were conversations that stayed with you long after they ended. Perhaps there are decisions waiting for you tomorrow. Bills, work, family, relationships, plans, unanswered questions, things you wish you had said, things you wish you had never said, things that cannot be changed, things that are not yet within your control. And now the room is quiet. The day is ending, but the mind sometimes continues running long after everything around us has become still. So tonight, remember this simple truth. You are not required to solve your entire life before you sleep. Tomorrow will arrive when tomorrow comes, but tonight is here now, and this moment can be peaceful. The Lord is your shepherd. He knows what you need. He knows what you are carrying. He knows what you are afraid of. He knows what you have not told anyone, and you can place all of it into His hands. Imagine for a moment a quiet field beneath the evening sky. The air is cool. The light is soft. The last warmth of the day rests gently across the hills. Nearby, water moves slowly over stones. There is no hurry in the river. It does not struggle to become tomorrow's river. It simply flows. The grass moves gently in the breeze. The trees stand quietly around the field. And somewhere nearby, a small fire gives off a warm glow. You can hear the soft crackle of the wood. You can hear the quiet movement of water. You can hear the wind passing through the leaves. Nothing is asking you to hurry. Nothing is demanding an answer. Nothing is telling you that you must be somewhere else. For this moment, simply rest. The Lord makes you lie down in green pastures. He leads you beside still waters. He restores your soul. There are times when the soul becomes tired in ways that sleep alone cannot explain. The body may be tired, but the mind continues. The heart continues. The memories continue. And sometimes what we need most is not another solution. Sometimes we need restoration. We need to remember that we are held. We need to remember that we are seen. We need to remember that God has not abandoned us simply because we are tired. Tonight, let that reminder become quiet and steady within you. God is near. You are not alone. You do not have to carry everything by yourself. You can release the weight of this day. Let go of the conversation you keep replaying. Let go of the mistake you keep remembering. Let go of the uncertainty about tomorrow. Let go of the things you cannot control. You can place them before God, one by one, without rushing, without trying to understand everything. Simply place them into His hands. If a thought comes, you do not have to fight it. Let it pass. If a worry appears, you do not have to follow it. Let it pass. If a memory comes into your mind, you can acknowledge it and then return to the quiet. Return to the words, "The Lord is my shepherd. He restores my soul. He leads me beside still waters." Let those words become an anchor, not something you have to analyze, not something you have to study tonight. Just something you can rest inside. The Lord is my shepherd. He is with you in the quiet. He is with you when you understand. He is with you when you do not understand. He is with you when your faith feels strong. He is with you when you feel tired. He is with you when you feel peaceful. And He is with you when your heart feels restless. There is nothing you need to pretend before God. You can come exactly as you are. Tired, worried, hopeful, confused, grateful, broken-hearted, peaceful. Whatever you feel tonight, you can bring it into His presence. You do not have to hide. You do not have to perform. You do not have to become someone else before you can rest. You can simply be still. And perhaps tonight, being still is enough. The Lord is my shepherd. He makes me lie down. Notice those words. He makes me lie down. There is something beautiful about being given permission to stop. The world often tells us to keep going, keep working, keep building, keep answering, keep improving, keep moving. But there comes a moment when the soul needs to stop. Tonight can be that moment. You have done enough for today. You have carried enough for today. You have thought enough for today. You can let the day come to an end. You can leave unfinished things unfinished. You can leave unanswered questions unanswered. You can let tomorrow keep its own responsibilities. Tonight belongs to rest. And as you rest, remember that God does not stop working simply because you have stopped. You do not need to hold the world together while you sleep. You do not need to keep watch over everything. You can rest. God is still God while you sleep. He is still present while you sleep. He is still able to guide what you cannot control. He is still able to open doors you cannot open. He is still able to protect what you cannot protect. He is still able to work in places you cannot reach. So breathe slowly. Let your body become comfortable. Let the room around you become quiet. Let the sound of the fire remain soft. Let the water continue flowing. And let your heart remember, the Lord is your shepherd. You shall not want. You are not forgotten. You are not unseen. You are not alone. There is a shepherd watching over you. There is a God who knows your name. There is a God who knows your story, and there is a God who can give peace even when circumstances have not yet changed. Sometimes we think peace can only come after everything is fixed, after the problem is solved, after the answer arrives, after the relationship is repaired, after the money comes, after the decision is made, after the future becomes clear. But God's peace can meet you before those things change. Peace does not always mean that every storm has disappeared. Sometimes peace means knowing that you are not facing the storm alone. Sometimes peace is simply the quiet confidence that says, "I don't know what tomorrow will bring, but I know who will be there. The Lord is my shepherd." That is enough for tonight. You do not need to know every detail of the road ahead. You only need enough light for the next step. And tonight, perhaps the next step is simply rest. Perhaps the most faithful thing you can do tonight is close your eyes and trust. Trust that God sees what you cannot see. Trust that God knows what you cannot know. Trust that God can carry what you cannot carry. Trust that your story is not finished. Trust that one difficult day does not define your entire life. Trust that one unanswered prayer does not mean God has stopped listening. Trust that silence does not mean absence. Sometimes the deepest work happens quietly, beneath the surface, in the hidden places, in the places nobody else can see. And tonight, while you rest, you can allow God to work in those hidden places. You don't have to force anything. You don't have to make anything happen. Just rest. The Lord is my shepherd. He leads me beside still waters. Think about still water for a moment. Water that is not rushing. Water that is not fighting against anything. Water that reflects the sky. Water that receives the light of the moon. Water that continues its quiet movement without asking for attention. Let your mind become like that water. When a thought comes, let it pass across the surface. You don't have to dive into every thought. You don't have to follow every question. You don't have to solve every possibility. A thought is simply a thought. You can notice it and return to peace. Return to the shepherd. Return to the words. The Lord is my shepherd. He restores my soul. Perhaps your soul needs restoration tonight. Perhaps you have been giving more than you have received. Perhaps you have been caring for everyone around you and forgetting to care for your own heart. Perhaps you have been strong for so long that you have forgotten what it feels like to be supported. Tonight, let yourself receive. Receive the quiet. Receive the stillness. Receive the reminder that you are loved. Receive the peace that God offers. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to deserve it. You can simply receive it. The shepherd leads. The shepherd provides. The shepherd restores. The shepherd stays near. And you can rest. There is another part of this psalm that many people remember. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For you are with me. You are with me. Those words are powerful because they do not pretend that valleys do not exist. The psalm does not say that the path will always be easy. It does not say that there will never be darkness. It says something more comforting. It says that even in the valley, God is there. Even when the road becomes difficult, He is there. Even when you cannot see far ahead, He is there. Even when fear comes close, He is there. Even when you feel uncertain, He is there. You are not promised a life without valleys, but you are promised the presence of the shepherd. And His presence changes the way we walk through them. Maybe you are in a valley right now. Maybe nobody knows. Maybe you are dealing with something that you have kept private. Maybe you are waiting for an answer. Maybe you are carrying grief. Maybe you are worried about someone you love. Maybe you are uncertain about your future. Maybe you feel as though everyone else is moving forward while you are standing still. If that is you tonight, hear these words gently. You are not walking alone. The shepherd is with you. You do not have to see the entire road. You only need to know that he is beside you. And sometimes that knowledge is enough to take the next step. Sometimes faith is not a feeling of certainty. Sometimes faith is simply choosing to continue while trusting that God is near. So tonight, you can stop demanding certainty from yourself. You don't have to know exactly how everything will work out. You don't have to predict tomorrow. You don't have to rehearse every possible outcome. You can simply say, God, you are with me. God, you know the way. God, I trust you with what I cannot see. And then breathe, slowly, quietly. Let those words settle. God, you are with me. God, you know the way. God, you know the way. God, I trust you with what I cannot see. There may be things you cannot change tonight. There may be situations that will require action tomorrow. And tomorrow, you can face them. But tonight, you can rest. Rest does not mean giving up. Rest does not mean you are weak. Rest means you are allowing yourself to be restored. A tired heart needs somewhere to rest. A tired mind needs somewhere to become quiet. And tonight, you can make room for that quiet. Imagine again the field. The fire is still burning. The river continues to flow. The trees move gently in the night breeze. The sheep are resting nearby. The sky has grown darker now. The last light of sunset has disappeared behind the mountains. Above you, the first stars begin to appear, one by one, quietly, without noise, without announcement. The heavens simply become filled with light, and you are beneath them, safe, still, resting. There is nothing you need to accomplish beneath this sky. You can simply look upward. And remember how small one night's worries can become when placed into the hands of an eternal God. The things that feel enormous tonight may look different in the morning. The emotions that feel overwhelming tonight may become lighter after rest. The questions that seem impossible tonight may have answers you cannot yet see. So don't force the answers. Let the night be the night. Let morning be the morning. And let God hold the space between them. The Lord is my shepherd. He restores my soul. He leads me beside still waters. He leads me in paths of righteousness. He does not abandon you halfway through the journey. He does not leave you because you are tired. He does not turn away because you are struggling. He knows the road. He knows every turn. He knows every valley. He knows every mountain. And He knows where the quiet waters are. Sometimes we become frustrated because we want God to show us the entire path. But perhaps He is asking us to trust Him one step at a time, one day at a time, one night at a time. Tonight is one night. You don't need tomorrow's strength tonight. You only need tonight's peace. And tomorrow, when tomorrow arrives, you can ask God for tomorrow's strength. For now, rest. Let your breathing become natural. There is no need to force it. There is no need to count. Just breathe, in and out. And as you breathe out, imagine releasing one burden. The first burden, something that has been on your mind. Give it to God. Breathe, and release another. Another worry, another responsibility, another fear. You do not have to name every one. God already knows. You can simply release and rest. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. What a peaceful statement. I shall not want. It is a reminder that God sees what we need. It does not mean that we will receive everything we desire exactly when we desire it. It means that our deepest security does not depend on having complete control. Our security is found in the shepherd. He provides, he guides, he restores, he protects, he stays. And when the heart remembers that, it can begin to loosen its grip. Maybe you have been holding on tightly to something, a plan, a person, a result, a dream, a fear, a particular outcome. Tonight, you can open your hands. You can say, God, I give this to you. If it is something I should carry tomorrow, give me strength tomorrow. But I don't need to carry it tonight. And then let your hands become still. Let your shoulders relax. Let your jaw relax. Let the muscles around your eyes soften. There is nowhere you need to go, nothing you need to prove. This moment is enough. The Lord is my shepherd. You are under his care. The night is quiet. The fire is warm. The river is moving, and your heart can begin to rest. Perhaps you have forgotten what it feels like to be completely still. The world moves so quickly. Messages arrive constantly. News changes constantly. People expect answers immediately. There is always another notification, another task, another problem, another thing to learn, another thing to buy, another thing to fix, another thing to worry about. But the soul was not designed to live in constant urgency. There must be moments when everything becomes quiet, moments when you stop, moments when you remember that your value does not depend on your productivity. You are not valuable because of how much you accomplished today. You are valuable because you are loved by God. You don't have to earn the right to rest. You don't have to finish everything before you deserve peace. Rest is not a reward for becoming perfect. Rest is part of being human, and God understands your humanity. He knows that you become tired. He knows that you become overwhelmed. He knows that sometimes you need to stop. So tonight, stop. Let this be your quiet place. Let these words become a gentle reminder. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to breathe. You are allowed to stop thinking about tomorrow. You are allowed to trust God with what you cannot control. And you are allowed to sleep. The shepherd watches. You can rest. The shepherd remains. You can rest. The shepherd knows the way. You can rest. The shepherd is near. You can rest. The Lord is my shepherd. He restores my soul. As the night becomes deeper, perhaps your thoughts will become quieter too. And if they don't become quiet immediately, that's okay. There is no pressure. Sleep cannot be forced. Peace cannot always be commanded. Sometimes peace arrives slowly, so let it arrive slowly. You don't have to make yourself sleep. You don't have to become frustrated, because your mind is still active. Just continue listening. Continue breathing. Continue resting. Let the words pass gently through your mind. There is no test. There is nothing to remember. There is nothing to accomplish. You don't have to stay awake to hear every sentence. If you drift away, that's okay. If you miss a few words, that's okay. If you fall asleep, that's okay. This is a place for rest. And if you wake later in the night, the same peace can still be here. The shepherd is still here. God is still near. You can simply return to the quiet. Return to your breathing. Return to the words. The Lord is my shepherd. He restores my soul. He leads me beside still waters. Let that become the thought you carry into sleep, not the unfinished task, not the difficult conversation, not the fear about tomorrow. Just this: the Lord is my shepherd. He is near. He is with you. He is watching over you. And you can rest. There is a quiet strength in knowing that you are not responsible for everything. Some things belong to you. Some things belong to God. Your responsibility tonight is not to control the future. Your responsibility tonight is simply to rest. Let God hold the future. Let God hold the people you love. Let God hold the situations you cannot change. Let God hold the questions without answers. Let God hold the things you don't understand. And let yourself become quiet. The psalm continues, "You prepare a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup runs over." There is abundance even in the middle of difficulty. There can be goodness even when life is not perfect. There can be moments of beauty even when there are unanswered questions. There can be a warm fire beside a quiet river even when the world outside is uncertain. Tonight, notice the good things that are already here. The ability to breathe, the ability to hear, the place where you are resting, the warmth around you, the people you love, the memories that bring you comfort, the possibility of tomorrow, the simple fact that you have made it through another day. You don't need to have a perfect life to experience gratitude. Sometimes gratitude begins with one small thing. Thank you for this breath. Thank you for this night. Thank you for this place of rest. Thank you for staying with me. Thank you for carrying me through today. Thank you for giving me another morning to look forward to. And then, let gratitude become quiet. No need to make a long list. Just rest in it. The Lord is good. His mercy is not limited to the days when everything goes well. His presence is not dependent on your circumstances. He remains. And because He remains, you can rest. Perhaps tonight you are thinking about someone you love, someone who is far away, someone who is struggling, someone you cannot protect, someone whose future worries you. You can place them into God's hands too. You don't have to watch over them every second. You don't have to imagine every possible danger. You don't have to carry their entire future. You can pray. You can love. You can care. And then you can trust. God sees them. God knows them. God can reach places you cannot reach. So tonight, let the people you love rest in His care, and let yourself rest too. The Lord is my shepherd. Perhaps those words can become a prayer for someone else. The Lord is their shepherd. The Lord is my shepherd. The Lord is near to the person I love. The Lord is near to me. The Lord knows the way. The Lord provides. The Lord restores. The Lord protects. And the Lord remains. As the fire continues to burn quietly, imagine its warm light reaching across the ground. The flames rise and fall gently. The light touches the nearby stones. It touches the grass. It reflects softly across the water. Nothing dramatic happens. And that is exactly what makes the moment peaceful. The fire does not need to become brighter. The river does not need to become faster. The wind does not need to become stronger. Everything can simply be what it is. And perhaps you can do the same. You don't have to become anything tonight. You don't have to be stronger tonight. You don't have to be more productive tonight. You don't have to understand more tonight. You can simply be. And you can let God meet you there. There is no shame in being tired. There is no shame in needing rest. There is no shame in saying, "God, I need you." That prayer can be enough. God, I need you. God, stay near. God, give me peace. God, help me rest. God, take care of what I cannot control. And then be still. The Lord is my shepherd. He restores my soul. If your heart feels heavy tonight, you can place that heaviness before God. If your heart feels joyful, you can place that joy before God. If your heart feels empty, you can place that emptiness before God. If your heart feels uncertain, You can place that uncertainty before God. Nothing is too small. Nothing is too complicated. Nothing is too difficult for Him to understand. You are known. You are seen. You are loved. And tonight, you can rest in that. Maybe tomorrow will bring challenges. Maybe tomorrow will bring opportunities. Maybe tomorrow will bring something unexpected. Whatever tomorrow brings, you don't have to live it tonight. Tonight, live this moment. Hear the quiet. Feel the warmth. Listen to the water. Let the words settle. The Lord is my shepherd. Tomorrow can wait. The future can wait. The answers can wait. The decisions can wait. For now, rest. There is a time to work. There is a time to speak. There is a time to act. And there is a time to be still. Tonight is a time to be still. Let the stillness come. Let your mind slow down. Let your heart become lighter. Let your breathing become peaceful. And if another thought appears, simply return. The Lord is my shepherd. He restores my soul. He leads me beside still waters. The Lord is my shepherd. He restores my soul. He leads me beside still waters. The Lord is my shepherd. He restores my soul. He leads me beside still waters. There is no need to hurry. There is no need to rush through these words. Let them move slowly. Let them become familiar. Let them become part of the quiet. Imagine walking beside the shepherd through a peaceful valley. The path is soft beneath your feet. The hills rise gently in the distance. The evening light rests over everything. The shepherd walks ahead, not too far ahead, near enough that you can follow, near enough that you can hear his voice, near enough that you know you are not alone. You do not need to know every destination. You only need to follow, one step, then another, and another. The path continues. Sometimes it is bright. Sometimes it passes through shadow. But the shepherd remains. And as you walk, you begin to realize something. The valley is not the whole story. The difficult season is not the whole story. The unanswered question is not the whole story. The painful memory is not the whole story. There is more ahead. There is still goodness. There is still mercy. There is still beauty. There is still morning. There is still hope. And tonight, there is still rest. So don't let one difficult chapter convince you that the story is over. Don't let one bad day convince you that every day will be bad. Don't let one disappointment convince you that there is no future. God is still writing. God is still working. God is still near. And you can sleep. You can rest while He works. You can close your eyes without having every answer. You can trust Him with the pages you cannot yet read. That is faith, not knowing everything, but knowing who is with you. The Lord is my shepherd. He is enough for this night. He is enough for this moment. He is enough for this breath. And you can rest. As the night grows quieter, allow yourself to become less concerned with the clock. You don't need to know how long you've been listening. You don't need to know what comes next. You don't need to stay awake for the entire journey. If sleep comes, welcome it. If you remain awake, simply continue resting. There is no failure here. There is no pressure. Just peace. Just quiet. Just the gentle reminder that you are held. Father, thank you for every person listening tonight. You know exactly where they are. You know the room they are resting in. You know the thoughts they are carrying. You know the burdens they have not spoken aloud. You know the fears they have hidden. You know the dreams they still hope for. Meet them in this quiet moment. Give them peace. Give them rest. Give them courage for tomorrow. But tonight, give them permission to stop. Let their minds become quiet. Let their bodies become comfortable. Let their hearts feel safe in your presence. For those who are worried, bring peace. For those who are grieving, bring comfort. For those who feel alone, remind them that they are not alone. For those who are uncertain, bring confidence in your presence. For those who are tired, bring restoration. For those who are carrying guilt, bring mercy. For those who are afraid, bring courage. And for everyone listening, let this night become a place of rest. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. Tonight, let Him restore your soul. Let Him restore the part of you that became tired today. Let Him restore the part of you that has been trying to be strong. Let Him restore the part of you that has been waiting. Let Him restore the part of you that has been afraid. Let Him restore the part of you that simply needs to know that everything does not depend on you. You can rest. God is near. You can rest. God is faithful. You can rest. God knows the way. You can rest. God is holding tomorrow. You can rest. And as you rest, remember this: surely goodness and mercy shall follow you all the days of your life. Goodness is still following you. Mercy is still following you, even on difficult days, even in uncertain seasons, even when you cannot see it clearly. God's goodness does not disappear because you cannot recognize it immediately. His mercy does not disappear because you had a difficult day. His presence does not disappear because you feel tired. He remains, and His mercy follows. So tonight, you can sleep beneath that promise. Goodness and mercy are not behind you only. They are still with you. They are still moving with you. And tomorrow, when you wake, they will still be there. The night does not have to be perfect. Your thoughts do not have to be completely silent. Your circumstances do not have to be completely resolved. You simply need a place to rest. And for this moment, let God's word be that place. The Lord is my shepherd. He restores my soul. He leads me beside still waters. Let the river flow. Let the fire burn. Let the leaves move gently in the night air. Let the stars remain above you. And let your heart become quiet. You have made it through another day. That is enough. You can stop now. You can rest now. You can breathe now. Tomorrow will come, but it does not need you yet. Tonight belongs to peace. Tonight belongs to stillness. Tonight belongs to rest. And the shepherd is near. Tonight, you can continue to rest. There is nothing you need to rush toward. The night is still. The fire burns quietly. The water continues its gentle journey. And the Lord, your shepherd, remains near. As you settle deeper into this quiet moment, remember that you are not required to carry every burden that has found its way into your heart. Some burdens came from today. Some came from yesterday. Some may belong to tomorrow. But tonight, you can place them all before God. You can leave them there. You do not need to pick them up again. You do not need to examine them again. You do not need to wonder whether you should have done something differently. For now, simply rest. The shepherd knows. He knows the things you are trying to understand. He knows the things that have made you tired. He knows the things that have made you afraid. He knows the things that have made you hopeful. He knows the prayers you have spoken aloud, and He knows the prayers that never became words. Nothing about your heart is hidden from Him, and because He knows, you can become still. There is comfort in being fully known and still fully loved. You do not have to pretend tonight. You do not have to appear strong. You do not have to hide your tiredness. You can simply come before God as you are. Perhaps your day was peaceful. Perhaps it was difficult. Perhaps it was somewhere in between. Whatever kind of day you had, it is ending now. The hours that have passed cannot be changed. The words that were spoken cannot be taken back. The mistakes that happened cannot be undone. But you can choose what you carry into the night. And tonight, you can choose peace. You can choose to trust. You can choose to release what is beyond your control. You can choose to let God hold what your hands can no longer hold. The Lord is your shepherd. He does not ask you to understand every part of the journey before you trust Him with the next step. He simply calls you to follow, one step at a time, one day at a time, one night at a time. And right now, this night is all you need to think about. Tomorrow has not arrived. The next week has not arrived. The next month has not arrived. You are here. You are breathing. You are resting. And God is here with you. Let that be enough. There is a quiet place beside the still waters. Imagine yourself there again. The water moves slowly over smooth stones. The surface catches the soft light of the moon. The grass along the bank moves gently whenever the breeze passes through. The trees stand tall and peaceful. There is no noise from the world, no pressure, no demands, no notifications, no deadlines, only the quiet sound of water, only the gentle movement of the leaves, only the warmth of the fire, and the peaceful presence of the shepherd. You can remain here for a while. You do not have to leave. Let your imagination become quiet. Let the scene remain simple. A river, a fire, a peaceful field, a quiet sky, and God beside you. Sometimes the heart becomes tired because it is constantly trying to predict what will happen next. What if this happens? What if that goes wrong? What if I make the wrong decision? What if someone leaves? What if I fail? What if tomorrow is harder? Questions can multiply quickly. One question creates another. One possibility creates 10 more. And before we realize it, we are living inside a future that has not even happened. Tonight, you can step out of that future. You can return to this moment. You can remind yourself that tomorrow does not need to be lived tonight. God will be there tomorrow. The same shepherd who is with you now will be with you then. The same God who carried you through yesterday will meet you in the morning. You do not need to arrive at tomorrow before tomorrow comes. Rest here. Rest now. The Lord is your shepherd. He knows the way. There may be things you are waiting for. An answer. A phone call. A change. A new opportunity. A healing. A relationship to be restored. A financial breakthrough. A door to open. A season to end. Waiting can be difficult. When we wait, the mind often tries to fill the silence with fear. But waiting does not mean that nothing is happening. Sometimes God works in ways that cannot be seen immediately. Roots grow beneath the ground before a tree becomes visible above it. Dawn begins before the first light appears. A seed develops in darkness before it becomes something we can see. And perhaps some things in your life are also developing quietly. You may not see the answer yet. You may not understand the timing. But you can still trust the one who sees what you cannot. So if you are waiting tonight, breathe. You do not have to force tomorrow to arrive. You do not have to make the answer appear. You can rest while you wait. God knows the timing. God knows the way. God knows what you need. And God knows what you cannot yet see. There is a difference between surrender and giving up. Giving up says there is no hope. Surrender says, I will stop trying to control what belongs in God's hands. Surrender is not weakness. It is trust. It is opening your hands and saying, Father, I cannot carry this anymore. I give it to you. I trust you with it. I trust you with the outcome. I trust you with the timing. I trust you with tomorrow. And then you breathe. The burden may not disappear instantly, but your relationship with the burden can change. You are no longer carrying it alone. God is carrying it with you. Perhaps tonight there is a particular burden you need to surrender. You know what it is. You do not need to say it aloud. God already knows. Bring it to Him now. Bring the situation. Bring the person. Bring the fear. Bring the decision. Bring the memory. Bring the uncertainty. Bring the dream. Bring the disappointment. Bring it all. And say quietly within your heart, God, this belongs to you. I have carried it as far as I can. I trust you with what happens next. And now, I will rest. Let those words become quiet. God, this belongs to you. I trust you with what happens next. And now, I will rest. The shepherd leads beside still waters. Not rushing waters. Not violent waters. Still waters. There is something about still water that reminds the heart to slow down. The water does not need to prove anything. It simply reflects what is above it. Perhaps tonight your heart can become like that. Still enough to receive. Still enough to hear. Still enough to remember. Still enough to rest. You don't have to fight every thought. You don't have to force your mind to become empty. Simply let thoughts come and go. When you notice yourself thinking about tomorrow, return to the present. When you notice yourself replaying yesterday, return to the present. When you notice yourself worrying about something beyond your control, return to the present. Return to the shepherd. Return to the still waters. Return to peace. The Lord is my shepherd. He restores my soul. These words are not merely words to hear. They are an invitation. An invitation to stop running. An invitation to stop carrying everything. An invitation to remember that you are not alone. The shepherd does not abandon his sheep because the night becomes dark. He does not leave because the path becomes uncertain. He stays, he watches, he guides, and he leads. There are moments when you may feel as though you have lost your way. Perhaps you made a decision you regret. Perhaps you chose the wrong direction. Perhaps you trusted someone who disappointed you. Perhaps you ignored something you should have noticed. Perhaps you are simply unsure what to do next. Even then, the story is not finished. A wrong turn does not mean that God cannot lead you again. A difficult season does not mean that you have been forgotten. A mistake does not erase your future. God can guide you from where you are. You don't have to go back and become a different person before He can work in your life. You can begin again, even tonight. Perhaps tomorrow is a new opportunity to walk differently. But you do not need to plan everything tonight. Sleep, rest, wake when morning comes, and then take the next step. The shepherd will still be there. There are also nights when the heart feels lonely. The room may be quiet, but the silence can feel heavy. You may think about people who are no longer close, people who have moved away, people who have changed, people who have passed away, people who chose another path. Loneliness can make the night feel longer. But remember that physical silence does not mean spiritual absence. God is near, even when no one else is speaking, even when your phone is silent. Even when there is nobody beside you, you are not abandoned. The presence of God does not depend on how many people are around you. His presence is not measured by notifications. It is not measured by messages. It is not measured by attention. He is simply there. And perhaps tonight you can allow that truth to become enough. You are not alone in this room. You are not alone in this night. The shepherd is near. You can rest. If your heart has been hurt by someone, You can bring that pain to God too. Sometimes we carry old wounds long after the moment that caused them has passed. A sentence someone said, a promise someone broke, a door someone closed, a relationship that ended, a person who did not understand you, a person you tried to forgive, a person you still struggle to forgive. These things can stay inside us, and sometimes the mind brings them back at night. But tonight, you don't have to relive them. You don't have to argue with the past. You don't have to rewrite the conversation. You don't have to imagine what you should have said. The past belongs to the past. You can ask God to heal what remains. You can ask Him to give you wisdom about what to learn. And then you can let yourself rest. Healing does not always happen in one moment. Sometimes it happens quietly. Sometimes it happens while you sleep. Sometimes you wake one morning and realize that something that once hurt deeply no longer has the same power. Give God time. Give yourself time. You do not need to rush your healing. You do not need to pretend that something did not hurt. You can acknowledge the pain and still choose peace. You can remember without returning. You can forgive without forgetting the lesson. You can move forward without denying what happened. The shepherd knows how to lead you forward. Trust him. There are also things we regret about ourselves. Maybe you regret a decision. Maybe you regret a missed opportunity. Maybe you regret how you treated someone. Maybe you regret the years you feel you wasted. Maybe you regret not listening. Maybe you regret giving too much of yourself to the wrong things. Regret can be heavy. But regret is not meant to become a permanent home. You can learn from yesterday without living there. You can ask God for forgiveness. You can make amends where possible. You can change where change is needed. And then you can continue. Grace means that your worst moment does not have to become your identity. Your past can be part of your story without being the final chapter. Tonight, you can release the need to punish yourself. If you have asked God for forgiveness, allow yourself to receive forgiveness. If there is something you need to change, trust God to give you strength when the time comes. But do not spend the entire night condemning yourself. Rest. Tomorrow will give you another opportunity to do better. Tonight, you can sleep. The shepherd restores the soul. That includes the tired soul, the worried soul, the regretful soul, the lonely soul, the hopeful soul, the soul that does not know what comes next. He restores, slowly, gently, faithfully. You do not need to restore yourself completely tonight. Let God begin the work. Perhaps you have been trying to carry an image of who you think you should be. You should be stronger. You should be more successful. You should have figured everything out by now. You should be further ahead. You should have more money. You should have a better relationship. You should have a clearer purpose. You should be happier. These thoughts can become exhausting, but tonight you can release the word should. You are where you are, and God can meet you there. Your journey does not have to look like someone else's journey. You do not need to compare your chapter with someone else's chapter. You do not know what they carry privately. You only see what is visible. God sees the whole story. So stop comparing tonight. Stop measuring yourself against other people. Stop calculating whether you are behind. You are not a number. You are not a competition. You are a person being led through a life that only God fully understands. Let Him lead. The shepherd knows your pace. He knows when you need to move. He knows when you need to stop. He knows when you need to wait. He knows when you need to rest. Trust His timing. There is a beautiful kind of peace that comes when you stop trying to force the next chapter. You can let today be today. You can let tomorrow be tomorrow. You can let the future unfold in its own time. The Lord is your shepherd. He is not confused about your future. He is not surprised by the road ahead. He is not anxious about tomorrow. And because he is not anxious, you can learn to become less anxious too. Your future is not held by your fear. Your future is held by God. Think about that for a moment. The things you are worried about tomorrow are already known by God. The conversation you are afraid to have, the decision you are afraid to make, the opportunity you are afraid to lose, the uncertainty you are afraid to face. God already knows, and He will meet you there. You don't need tomorrow's grace tonight. Tonight, you only need tonight's grace. Tomorrow will bring what tomorrow requires, and when it does, God will be there. So rest. Let the fire continue to burn. Let the river continue to flow. Let the night continue to deepen, and let your heart become quiet. There is no need to watch the clock. There is no need to count the minutes. There is no need to wonder how long until morning. Morning will come naturally. The sky will brighten. The darkness will begin to fade. The birds will eventually begin to sing, and you will have another day. But tonight, let yourself remain here, in the quiet, in the stillness, in the presence of God. Perhaps there is something beautiful about realizing that the world continues even while you sleep. The earth continues to turn. The river continues to flow. The stars continue to shine. The trees continue to breathe. And God continues to hold everything. You can sleep without keeping watch. You can close your eyes without being responsible for every detail. You can trust that God does not need you to remain awake in order to care for what matters. He is already awake. He is already present. He is already faithful. So let your eyes become heavy. Let your body become still. Let the sounds around you become softer. Let the words become slower in your mind. The Lord is my shepherd. He restores my soul. He leads me beside still waters. You can rest. Perhaps you have spent years believing that rest must be earned. You work hard, and then you rest. You finish everything, and then you rest. You solve the problem, and then you rest. You become successful, and then you rest. But there will always be another task, another problem, another responsibility. If you wait until everything is finished, you may never rest. So tonight, choose to rest before everything is finished. There will still be unfinished things. There will still be unanswered questions. There will still be things waiting for you tomorrow. That is okay. You are allowed to stop in the middle of an unfinished life. You are allowed to sleep before every problem has been solved. You are allowed to trust God before every answer has arrived. The shepherd does not require you to know everything. He simply invites you to follow. And tonight, following may mean resting. Let your heart hear that invitation. Come away from the noise. Come away from the pressure. Come away from the endless need to know. Come beside the still waters. Come and rest. You can imagine sitting near the river now. The fire is beside you. The warmth reaches your hands. The air is cool against your face. The sky above is deep and clear. The stars are quiet. The hills are dark silhouettes against the night. There is no need to speak. The shepherd is near, and silence can be enough. You don't always need another answer. Sometimes you need presence. Sometimes you need to know that someone is there, and God is there. He does not need you to say the perfect prayer. He does not need you to find the perfect words. A simple, "Thank you, God," can be enough. A simple, "Help me rest," can be enough. A simple, "Stay near me tonight," can be enough. He hears, He knows, He understands. So if you have no words tonight, that is okay. Let silence become your prayer. Let your breathing become your prayer. Let your rest become your prayer. The Lord is your shepherd. He knows what you need. He knows what you cannot say. He knows what your heart is trying to express. And He is near. As you continue resting, remember the promise of His presence. Even when the path passes through darkness, He is with you. Darkness does not frighten the shepherd. He knows how to guide you through it. You may not see the entire path, but He does. You may not know where the road turns, but He does. You may not know how the story ends, but He does. So you can take one more breath and release the need to know. One more breath and release the need to control. One more breath and release the fear of tomorrow. One more breath and rest. The shepherd is near. The shepherd is faithful. The shepherd is watching. And you are safe to rest in His presence. Father, tonight we place every unanswered question into your hands. We place every worry into your hands. We place every person we love into your hands. We place every dream, every fear, every regret, and every hope into your hands. We cannot see everything that you see. We cannot understand everything that you understand. But we can trust you. Teach our hearts to trust you. Teach our minds to become quiet. Teach us to release what we cannot control. Teach us to wait without fear. Teach us to rest without guilt. Teach us to sleep knowing that you are near. And when morning comes, give us strength for whatever lies ahead. But for now, give us rest. Let this night be peaceful. Let this room become quiet. Let every anxious thought lose its urgency. Let every heavy burden become lighter. Let every fearful thought be met with the reminder that you are near. You are our shepherd. You are our refuge. You are our peace. And we can rest. And we can rest. Amen. Now, breathe slowly. There is nothing else you need to accomplish right now. The day is over. The work can wait. The decisions can wait. The questions can wait. God is not asking you to solve everything tonight. He is inviting you to rest. So rest. Let the river continue. Let the fire glow. Let the night become deeper. Let the stars remain above you. And let the peace of God settle gently over your heart. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. You are not without hope. The shepherd is with you, and you can sleep. As you continue to rest tonight, allow your heart to remain in that quiet place beside the still waters. You do not need to go anywhere. You do not need to hurry. The shepherd is still near. The night is still around you. And for this moment, you can simply breathe and remember that you are held. There are many things in life that we cannot control. We cannot control every person's choices. We cannot control every circumstance. We cannot control how quickly an answer arrives. We cannot control what tomorrow will bring, but we can choose where we place our trust. And tonight, you can place your trust in God. You can say within your heart, Lord, I do not know everything that is ahead, but you do. I cannot see everything that you see, but you can. I cannot control everything that happens, but you are still with me. So I will rest. I will trust. I will let this night be quiet. The Lord is my shepherd. Those words are simple, but they carry a deep comfort. A shepherd does not simply point toward a destination and disappear. A shepherd stays with the sheep. He watches. He guides. He protects. He searches when one wanders away. He knows where the water is. He knows where the pasture is. He knows where danger may be hiding. He knows when it is time to move and when it is time to remain. And tonight, You can trust the shepherd with your own journey. You may not understand why certain things happened. You may not understand why certain doors closed. You may not understand why something you prayed for has taken so long. You may not understand why one season ended before you were ready, but you can trust the one who sees the entire path. Sometimes we only see one small part of our story. We see today's disappointment. We see today's uncertainty. We see today's problem. God sees the beginning. God sees the middle. God sees what has not yet happened. And because He sees the whole story, you do not have to carry the responsibility of knowing how every chapter will unfold. You can simply follow. You can simply trust. You can simply rest. Imagine the peaceful field once again. The grass is soft beneath you. The air is cool. The sky is dark now. The stars are bright above the distant hills. The fire gives off a gentle warmth. Every now and then, a small flame rises and settles again. The river moves quietly beside you. The sound is steady. The sound does not demand your attention. It simply remains. Let that sound become a reminder. God's presence does not need to be loud to be real. Sometimes His presence is found in quietness. Sometimes it is found in stillness. Sometimes it is found in a peaceful moment when nothing dramatic is happening. You do not need a sign tonight. You do not need a miracle before you are allowed to rest. You do not need every question answered before you can experience peace. You can rest in the simple truth that God is near. Perhaps that is what your heart needs most tonight. Not another explanation, not another prediction, not another plan, just the reminder that God is near. He is near when the day goes well. He is near when the day goes badly. He is near when you feel strong. He is near when you feel weak. He is near when you understand. He is near when you are confused. He is near when you feel full of faith. He is near when you are struggling to believe. His presence does not depend on your emotional state. He remains. And because He remains, you can rest. There may be something on your mind right now that keeps returning. Perhaps you have tried to stop thinking about it. Perhaps you have told yourself that worrying will not help. And yet the thought comes back. If that happens tonight, do not become frustrated with yourself. Simply notice it, and then gently return. Return to the words, "The Lord is my shepherd. He restores my soul. He leads me beside still waters." You can repeat those words silently if you want. The Lord is my shepherd. He restores my soul. He leads me beside still waters. Let them become more familiar than the worry. Let them become louder in your heart than the fear. Not because the problem has magically disappeared, but because you are remembering who is greater than the problem. Your fear may be real. Your circumstances may be difficult. Your questions may be serious, but God is still greater, and you do not have to face any of it alone. There are nights when the mind wants certainty. It wants to know exactly what will happen. It wants guarantees. It wants a map of the future. But faith often asks us to walk without seeing the entire road. That can feel uncomfortable. But you do not need to see everything to take the next step. Think about walking at night with a small light. You may not see the entire road. You may only see a few steps ahead. But that can be enough. You take one step, then another, then another. And eventually, you realize that the road has carried you farther than you thought possible. God can lead you that way too. One day at a time. One decision at a time. One prayer at a time. One night at a time. One night at a time. You do not need the strength for every future day tonight. You only need to rest tonight. Tomorrow will have its own strength. Tomorrow will have its own grace. Tomorrow will have its own opportunities. Tonight belongs to sleep. Tonight belongs to peace. Tonight belongs to God. There is something beautiful about surrendering the next 24 hours before they even begin. You can say, "Father, tomorrow belongs to you. My work belongs to you. My relationships belong to you. My decisions belong to you. My future belongs to you. And tonight, I belong to you." Then rest. Let your mind stop rehearsing tomorrow. Let tomorrow remain outside this quiet moment. There is nothing waiting for you right now except rest. The shepherd is near. Perhaps you have been carrying the pressure of being responsible for everyone else. Maybe people depend on you. Maybe you are the person others call when something goes wrong. Maybe you feel that you must always be strong. Maybe you feel that if you stop, everything will fall apart. But tonight, remember this: you are not God. You were never meant to carry everything. You are allowed to have limits. You are allowed to become tired. You are allowed to need help. You are allowed to rest. And trusting God means recognizing that some responsibilities belong to Him. You can love people without controlling their lives. You can care for someone without carrying their entire future. You can support someone without becoming responsible for every outcome. You can pray for someone and then place them into God's hands. That is not neglect. That is trust. So if someone you love is on your mind tonight, give them to God. You have done what you can. Now let God do what only He can do. You cannot stand beside someone every moment. You cannot protect someone from every disappointment. You cannot prevent every difficult day. But God can be with them when you cannot. God can reach them where you cannot. God can strengthen them in ways you cannot. So release them. Not because you do not care, because you do care. And because you trust God with what matters most. Perhaps you are worried about your family. Perhaps you are worried about your children. Perhaps you are worried about your parents. Perhaps you are worried about a friend. Perhaps you are worried about someone who has walked away from faith. Whatever the situation, place it before God. Father, watch over them, guide them, protect them, give them wisdom, give them peace, bring the right people into their lives, lead them away from what would harm them, and give me peace as I trust them to you. Then breathe and rest. The Lord is your shepherd. He cares for you. He cares for the people you love. And He is not overwhelmed by the things that overwhelm you. Think about that. The things that feel impossible to you are not impossible for God. The situations that make you feel helpless do not make God helpless. The future that looks uncertain to you is not uncertain to Him. You can rest. There is a difference between being unaware and being at peace. Peace does not mean pretending that problems do not exist. Peace means remembering that problems do not have the final word. God does. And tonight, His word reminds you that He is your shepherd. He is your guide. He is your protector. He is your provider. He is your rest. So let the worries become smaller, not because they are meaningless, but because you are placing them in larger hands. There is a place where the river becomes wider. The water slows even more. The trees become reflections on its surface. The fire burns gently nearby. Imagine sitting there. You can hear the water. You can hear the occasional crackle of wood. You can hear the breeze. Perhaps you can hear the distant sound of an animal moving through the grass. Nothing is urgent. Nothing is demanding your attention. The world can wait. Your phone can wait. Your messages can wait. Your work can wait. Your plans can wait. Your worries can wait. God is not asking you to solve them right now. He is inviting you to rest. Let the quiet surround you. Let the peaceful scene remain in your imagination. And if your thoughts wander, that is okay. Bring them back gently. You do not have to fight your mind. You simply guide it toward peace, like a shepherd gently guiding sheep back toward the safe path, again and again, without anger, without frustration, simply guiding. You can do the same with your thoughts. A thought appears. You notice it. You let it go. You return. The Lord is my shepherd. A memory appears. You notice it. You let it go. You return. He restores my soul. A worry appears. You notice it. You let it go. You return. He leads me beside still waters. A question appears. You do not need to answer it. You return. The Lord is my shepherd. There is no failure in having thoughts. There is no failure in being unable to fall asleep immediately. There is no failure in needing time to become calm. Peace can arrive gradually. Let it. You do not need to force sleep. You only need to create space for rest. And God's presence can fill that space. Perhaps you have spent much of your life trying to earn approval, trying to be enough, trying to prove yourself, trying to make people proud, trying to become successful, trying to avoid disappointing anyone. That can become exhausting. But tonight, remember that you do not have to earn God's attention. You already have it. You do not have to perform for Him. You do not have to impress Him. You do not have to pretend. You can come tired. You can come confused. You can come with questions. You can come with weakness. And He still receives you. There is no need to hide from the shepherd. He already knows. He knows your failures. He knows your strengths. He knows your past. He knows your hopes. He knows the parts of you that you like. He knows the parts of you that you struggle to accept. And still He calls you toward rest. Still He stays near. Still He restores. That is grace. And tonight, you can rest in grace. You do not have to become perfect before you sleep. You do not have to fix every weakness tonight. You do not have to solve every mistake. You can ask God for forgiveness. You can ask Him for wisdom. And then you can rest. Tomorrow, there will be opportunities to grow. Tomorrow, there will be opportunities to make things right. Tomorrow, there will be opportunities to choose differently. But tonight, you need sleep. You need restoration. You need quiet. And God understands that. The Lord makes you lie down in green pastures. There is something gentle in that picture. A shepherd sees when the sheep need rest. The shepherd knows that constant movement is not always the answer. Sometimes the right direction is stillness. Sometimes the next step is not forward. Sometimes the next step is simply stopping. Perhaps tonight is one of those moments for you. Stop. Rest. Breathe. Let the day end. You can pick things up again in the morning. You can return to your responsibilities when the sun rises. But right now, you can lie down. You can become still. You can let your body receive the rest it needs. You can let your mind become quieter. And you can let God take care of the things you cannot carry. There may be a question you have been asking God for a long time. Why? Why did this happen? Why did that person leave? Why did that opportunity disappear? Why has this prayer not been answered? Why has this season lasted so long? Sometimes we do not receive the answer immediately. Sometimes the answer takes time. Sometimes we may never fully understand certain events. But not understanding does not mean God has abandoned you. You can live with an unanswered question and still have peace. You can say, "I do not understand, but I trust you." That sentence can become an act of faith. I do not understand, but I trust you. I do not see the way forward, but I trust you. I do not know what tomorrow holds, but I trust you. I cannot change the past, but I trust you. I cannot control the future, but I trust you. And then you rest. Faith does not require you to know everything. Faith requires you to know where you are placing your trust. And tonight, your trust is in God. The shepherd knows the way. Let him lead. Sometimes we worry because we believe everything depends on us. But God can accomplish things without our constant anxiety. Worry does not make us more responsible. Worry does not make us more prepared. Worry simply exhausts us. Preparation has its place. Action has its place. Planning has its place. Planning has its place. But there is also a place for surrender. And tonight, surrender. If there is something you need to prepare for tomorrow, write it down if you must. Then leave it there. You do not need to keep rehearsing it in your mind. If there is something you need to remember, trust that you can deal with it when the time comes. If there is a decision that needs to be made tomorrow, let tomorrow bring it. You do not need to make the decision at midnight. Rest. Your mind needs permission to stop working. Give it that permission. Say, not tonight, tomorrow. Tonight I rest. Tomorrow I will deal with what needs to be dealt with. Tonight I trust God. Tomorrow I will take the next step. That is enough. The shepherd is near. Perhaps your body is already beginning to feel heavier. Perhaps your breathing is slower. Perhaps the room feels quieter. If sleep is coming, you do not need to resist it. Let yourself drift. You do not need to hear every word. You do not need to remember everything. These words can simply become part of the background of your rest. The river can continue flowing. The fire can continue glowing. The night can continue passing. And you can sleep. If you remain awake, that is okay too. Continue resting. There is no clock you need to obey. There is no goal you need to reach. The purpose of this moment is simply peace. And perhaps that is what you have been missing. A moment without achievement. A moment without pressure. A moment without comparison. A moment without expectation. A moment where you are not being asked to become anything. Just be. Be here. Be still. Be held. The Lord is your shepherd. He restores your soul. Imagine the shepherd walking through the field. The night air is cool. The sheep are resting. The path is quiet. He knows each one. He knows which ones are tired. He knows which ones are afraid. He knows which ones have wandered. He knows which ones need guidance. And he knows you. You are not just another person in a crowd. You are known. Your story matters. Your pain matters. Your hopes matter. Your prayers matter. Your future matters. And you matter to God. Let that truth become quiet in your heart. You matter. You are loved. You are seen. You are not forgotten. You can rest. There is no need to earn that love tonight. Simply receive it. Let yourself be loved without doing anything. That may be difficult for some people. We are often taught to earn approval, earn success, earn trust. Earn rewards, but God's love is not a wage. You do not work for it. You receive it. And tonight, receive. Receive the peace. Receive the mercy. Receive the grace. Receive the reminder that you are not alone. Let your heart become soft. Let the defenses come down. You do not need to be strong in this moment. You can simply rest. The Lord is my shepherd. He restores my soul. He leads me beside still waters. Those words can become a gentle rhythm, not something you have to memorize, just something your heart can recognize. The shepherd is near. The shepherd is near. The shepherd is near, and you can rest. Perhaps there is fear about the future, fear of failure, fear of losing something, fear of being rejected, fear of being alone, fear of not having enough, fear of not being enough. Fear can make the future feel enormous, but fear does not know the future. God does. Fear can imagine possibilities. God sees reality. Fear can create hundreds of scenarios. God already knows the path. So when fear begins to speak loudly tonight, answer it gently. God is with me. I do not know what will happen, but God is with me. I cannot control everything, but God is with me. I may feel afraid, but God is with me. I may not understand, but God is with me. I may be tired, but God is with me. And because God is with me, I can rest. Fear does not have to disappear before you sleep. You simply do not have to obey it. Let it pass. Return to the shepherd. Return to peace. Return to the still waters. There is a quiet strength in saying, God is with me. Say it slowly. God is with me. Again, God is with me. One more time. God is with me. Let the words settle. God is with me. Not only when I succeed, not only when I feel strong, not only when I feel strong, not only when everything is easy. God is with me now. In this room, in this night, in this moment, and I can rest. Sometimes we believe that God is closest when we feel spiritual, when we pray easily, when we worship easily, when our hearts feel full. But God is also near when prayer feels difficult, when you are exhausted, when you have no words, when you are disappointed, when you are confused. When your faith feels small, He does not leave because you are struggling. You can come to Him with a small faith, a tired prayer, a simple sentence, even silence, and He remains, and He remains. So tonight, if all you can say is, "Help me," let that be enough. If all you can say is, "Stay near," let that be enough. If all you can say is, "Thank you," let that be enough. God hears the heart beneath the words, and He knows what you need. The shepherd is near. Let the night become softer. Let the sounds around you become quieter. Let the warmth of the fire remain gentle. Let the water continue moving. Let the trees sway slowly, and let your heart settle. There is nothing else you need to accomplish. You have arrived at the quiet part of the day. This is where you can stop. This is where you can release. This is where you can rest. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness. Even when the path becomes dark, He is there. Even when I do not understand, He is there. Even when I am afraid, He is there. Even when I am tired, He is there. Even when I am waiting, He is there. Even when I feel alone, He is there. And because He is there, I can rest. You can rest. You can close your eyes. You can let the day disappear into the past. You can let tomorrow remain in God's hands. You can let your heart become quiet. The shepherd is near, and He will remain near through the night. There is still nothing you need to solve tonight. You have already done enough for this day. So remain here for a little while longer. Let the quiet continue around you. Let the fire glow softly. Let the river move at its own gentle pace. And let your heart remember that the shepherd has not left you. He is still near. Sometimes the hardest part of resting is believing that we are allowed to stop. The mind may tell you that there is always one more thing to think about, one more thing to check, one more decision to make. one more problem to solve, one more possibility to consider. But there is a time to stop. There is a time to put the day down. There is a time to say, this can wait until morning. Tonight can be that time. You do not have to carry tomorrow into this night. You do not have to carry yesterday either. Yesterday has already passed. Tomorrow has not yet arrived. All you have is this moment, and in this moment, God is near. So breathe. Let your breathing become natural. You don't have to control it. You don't have to make it perfect. Simply breathe. And as you breathe out, imagine releasing another piece of the day. Perhaps it is a conversation. Perhaps it is a responsibility. Perhaps it is something you regret. Perhaps it is something you fear. Whatever comes to mind, place it into God's hands. You can say, Father, I give this to you. I cannot carry it through the night. I trust you with it. And then let it go. You may have to do this more than once. That is okay. Sometimes surrender is not one decision. Sometimes we surrender the same thing again and again. We give it to God. Our mind takes it back. We give it to God again. The worry returns. We give it to God again. There is no shame in that. You are learning to trust, and trust takes practice. So if your mind wanders tonight, gently return. The Lord is my shepherd. He restores my soul. He leads me beside still waters. Let those words bring you back. The world can be noisy, but God's presence can be quiet. The world can demand, but God's presence can invite. The world can tell you to hurry, but God can remind you to be still. You do not have to live at the speed of the world tonight. You can slow down. You can breathe. You can rest. There is a peacefulness that comes when you realize that God is not asking you to be awake and worried all night in order to prove that you care. Your concern does not make you more loving. Your anxiety does not make you more responsible. Your constant thinking does not guarantee a better tomorrow. Sometimes the most faithful thing you can do is release the situation and sleep. Let God hold what you cannot. Let God watch over what you cannot watch over. Let God work in places you cannot reach. There are doors that you cannot open. There are hearts that you cannot change. There are circumstances that you cannot control. There are answers that you cannot force. But there is a God who is not limited by those things. So tonight, let your limitations become a reason to trust rather than a reason to worry. You do not have to be able to do everything. You only need to trust the one who can. The Lord is your shepherd. He knows where the green pastures are. He knows where the still waters are. He knows the safe paths. He knows the dangerous paths. He knows the places where you need to slow down. He knows the places where you need courage. He knows when you need correction. He knows when you need comfort. And He knows when you need rest. Maybe this is one of those nights. Maybe you have been moving too quickly for too long. Maybe your heart has been asking for quiet. Maybe your body is tired, but your thoughts are still running. Maybe you have been strong for everyone else. Tonight, allow yourself to be cared for. You do not have to take care of everyone in this moment. You do not have to answer every message. You do not have to solve every problem. You do not have to make every person happy. You can simply rest in God's presence. There is no emergency in this moment. There is no need to hurry. Let the night be gentle. Let the darkness be peaceful. Let the silence become comforting rather than frightening. God is with you in the darkness. He is not only the God of daylight, He is also with you through the night. When you cannot see clearly, He can still see. When you cannot understand, He still understands. When you cannot find the way, He still knows the way. When you feel lost, He is not lost. When you feel uncertain, He is not uncertain. When you feel afraid, He remains faithful. And because He remains, you can rest. Think about how much of life is outside your control. The weather, the choices of other people, the timing of opportunities, the past, the future, the opinions of others, the events of tomorrow. Trying to control all of these things will exhaust you. But surrender creates space, space to breathe, space to listen, space to live, space to sleep. Tonight, you can make that space. You can stop trying to predict everything. You can stop rehearsing every possible conversation. You can stop imagining every possible disaster. You can stop preparing for problems that have not happened. If something needs your attention tomorrow, tomorrow will bring it. And when tomorrow arrives, God will be there. You will have the strength you need for that moment. You don't need tomorrow's strength tonight. Tonight, you need rest. Let that be enough. The shepherd is near. There may be something you have been praying about for a long time. Maybe you have asked God for an answer. Maybe you have asked Him to change a situation. Maybe you have asked Him to bring healing. Maybe you have asked Him to restore something that was lost. Maybe you have asked Him to guide you. And perhaps you are still waiting. Waiting can be one of the hardest forms of faith, because waiting feels like silence. It feels like nothing is happening. But silence is not always absence. Sometimes the deepest work happens where you cannot see it. A seed grows underground before it breaks through the soil. A dawn begins before the horizon becomes bright. A tree develops roots long before anyone sees the strength beneath it. And perhaps God is doing something beneath the surface of your life. You may not see it yet. You may not understand it yet. But you can trust Him. Not because you know exactly what will happen, because you know who holds what will happen. That distinction matters. Faith is not always knowing the outcome. Faith is trusting the one who holds the outcome. So if you are waiting tonight, rest while you wait. You don't have to spend the night trying to force an answer. You don't have to make something happen before morning. You can simply say, God, I trust your timing. God, I trust your wisdom. God, I trust your plans. And then let yourself sleep. Perhaps your prayer has not been answered in the way you expected. That can be painful. Sometimes we ask for one thing and receive something different. Sometimes a door closes when we were certain it should open. Sometimes someone leaves when we prayed they would stay. Sometimes a season ends before we feel ready. And when those things happen, it can be difficult to understand God. But even when you do not understand His path, you can still know His character. He is faithful. He is compassionate. He is near. He is not careless with your life. And He sees things that you cannot see. Perhaps one day you will understand something that seems impossible to understand tonight. Perhaps you will look back and realize that what felt like an ending was actually a beginning. Perhaps you will realize that a closed door protected you from something you could not see. Perhaps you will discover that a delay prepared you for something you were not ready to receive. You cannot know all of that tonight, and you don't need to. Trust can exist before understanding. So let the unanswered questions remain unanswered for tonight. They can wait. The shepherd knows. You can rest. There is another burden that many people carry into the night, the burden of comparison. You think about where you are. Then you think about where someone else is. They seem more successful. They seem happier. They seem further ahead. They seem to have the relationship you want, the career you want, the family you want, the lifestyle you want, the confidence you want. And suddenly, your own life begins to feel smaller, but you are not walking their road. You are walking yours. God did not give you someone else's journey. He gave you your own. And your journey does not have to look like theirs to have meaning. You do not know what another person carries behind closed doors. You see moments. God sees the whole life. So tonight, release comparison. You do not need to compete. You do not need to prove that you are ahead. You do not need to become someone else. You can simply ask God to guide you on your path. The shepherd knows your path. He knows your pace. He knows your strengths. He knows your weaknesses. He knows your history. He knows your future. And He knows exactly what you need. So rest. You are not late with God. You are not forgotten by God. You are not invisible to God. Your life is not being measured against someone else's. You are being led, one step at a time. There may be seasons when the path feels slow. There may be seasons when nothing seems to happen. But slow does not mean meaningless. Quiet does not mean empty. Waiting does not mean abandoned. Sometimes the quietest seasons are the ones where the deepest roots grow. So if your life feels quiet right now, do not assume nothing is happening. Let God work. Let Him shape you. Let Him prepare you. Let Him strengthen you. And let yourself rest. You don't have to see the results tonight. You only need to trust the process. The Lord is my shepherd. He restores my soul. There is something else the shepherd does. He protects. The psalm speaks about walking through the valley. The valley is real. The darkness is real. The fear can be real. But the presence of the shepherd is also real. You may be walking through a difficult valley right now. Perhaps it is financial pressure. Perhaps it is uncertainty about your future. Perhaps it is a broken relationship. Perhaps it is grief. Perhaps it is a difficult family situation. Perhaps it is simply the exhaustion of trying to keep going. Whatever your valley is, hear this gently. The valley is not proof that God has left you. Sometimes the path passes through valleys, but the shepherd walks through them with you. He does not abandon you at the entrance. He does not tell you to figure it out alone. He stays. He guides. He comforts. And eventually, the path continues. There is a morning after every night. There is a way through every valley. And there is hope beyond the place where you are standing now. You may not know how you will get there. But you don't have to know tonight. You only need to know that you are not alone. If fear comes tonight, let it remind you to turn toward God rather than away from Him. You can say, "Lord, I am afraid," and God already knows. You can say, "Lord, I don't know what to do," and God already knows. You can say, "Lord, I need you," and He is near. You don't need a perfect prayer. You need an honest heart. And honesty is welcome in God's presence. So if you are afraid, bring your fear. If you are angry, bring your anger. If you are confused, bring your confusion. If you are disappointed, bring your disappointment. God is not threatened by your emotions. He can handle what you are feeling. You do not need to clean up your heart before coming to Him. Come as you are, and let Him begin the work of restoration. He restores my soul, not just my circumstances, my soul, because sometimes the circumstances remain difficult for a while, but God can still restore the person living inside those circumstances. He can give you peace before the situation changes. He can give you strength before the answer comes. He can give you hope while you are still waiting. That is a beautiful kind of grace. Peace in the middle. Strength in the middle. Hope in the middle. God meeting you exactly where you are. So tonight, do not wait until everything is perfect before allowing yourself to rest. Rest now. Peace can begin now. Trust can begin now. The shepherd is near now. The fire is still glowing. The river is still moving. The night is still quiet. And you are still here. Take a slow breath. Let it out. Another breath. Let it out. There is no need to hurry. Imagine the water moving beside you. The surface is calm. The moonlight rests upon it. Every small movement creates a gentle reflection. The river does not struggle against the night. It simply moves. And perhaps you can learn something from that. You do not have to fight every moment. You do not have to resist everything you cannot control. Sometimes you can simply move with trust, not passively, not carelessly, but peacefully. You can take the next step when the time comes. You can make the next decision when it is needed. You can speak when the moment is right. You can act when action is required. But until then, you can rest. The world will not collapse because you sleep. You are not holding everything together. God is. That is why you can close your eyes. That is why you can release the day. That is why you can sleep. There are things you may never be able to control. But you can control what you choose to place your trust in. And tonight, choose trust. Choose peace. Choose stillness. Choose to remember that God is greater than your fear. God is greater than your uncertainty. God is greater than your past. God is greater than the mistake you made. God is greater than the thing you are waiting for. God is greater than the thing you are afraid of losing. And because He is greater, you can rest. Sometimes we forget that the future is not ours to carry all at once. The future arrives one day at a time, one morning, one afternoon, one evening, and one night. You don't need to live the entire future tonight. You only need to live this moment. So come back to this moment. Feel the quiet around you. Notice the warmth. Notice the sound of water. Notice the stillness. Let your attention rest here. You are safe to stop thinking for a while. You can allow the mind to become quiet. And if it refuses to become quiet immediately, that is okay. Do not fight it. Simply return again. The Lord is my shepherd. He restores my soul. He leads me beside still waters. Those words can become your resting place. Let them remain. The Lord is my shepherd. He restores my soul. He leads me beside still waters. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. You are not without guidance. The shepherd is near. There may also be a place in your heart that feels disappointed with yourself. Maybe you thought you would be further ahead by now. Maybe you promised yourself you would change something. Maybe you started something and stopped. Maybe you failed. Maybe you gave up. Maybe you made choices that you wish you could undo. But tonight, you do not have to define yourself by your worst moments. Your story is still being written. God can redeem what feels wasted. He can teach you through what hurt. He can bring wisdom from mistakes. He can create new beginnings from old endings. You are not beyond restoration. You are not beyond grace. You are not beyond hope. So forgive yourself where forgiveness is possible. Ask God to forgive you where you have fallen short. Learn what you need to learn. And then keep walking. The shepherd does not ask you to remain beside every mistake forever. He leads you forward. Sometimes moving forward requires leaving something behind. Leave the shame behind. Leave the constant self-condemnation behind. Leave the need to punish yourself behind. Take the lesson. Take the wisdom. Take the grace. And keep walking. Tonight, you can sleep without carrying the weight of who you used to be. God can meet you in who you are becoming. Perhaps tomorrow will be different. Perhaps you will make one better choice. Perhaps you will speak one kinder word. Perhaps you will take one brave step. You don't need to transform your entire life overnight. One step is enough. The shepherd leads one step at a time, and tonight the step is rest. There is no need to plan the entire journey. Let the shepherd lead. Sometimes we become exhausted because we try to be both the traveler and the guide. We want to choose every turn. We want to know every destination. We want to predict every danger. We want to make sure nothing goes wrong. But the psalm reminds us of another way. The Lord is my shepherd. That means I do not have to be my own shepherd. I do not have to know everything. I do not have to protect myself from every possibility. I do not have to control every outcome. I can trust, and trust allows the heart to breathe. So breathe tonight. You can stop managing the future. You can stop carrying every possibility. You can stop asking what if. Instead, ask, what is God asking of me right now? Perhaps right now He is asking you to rest. Then rest. Perhaps tomorrow He will ask you to act. Then act. Perhaps another day He will ask you to wait. Then wait. The shepherd knows the timing. You don't have to. That is the beauty of being led. You don't have to see everything. You only have to follow. And tonight, following means becoming still. The fire continues to burn. The river continues to move. The stars continue to shine. The shepherd continues to watch. And you can sleep. If you have been carrying fear about money, place that fear into God's hands. If you have been carrying fear about work, place it into God's hands. If you have been carrying fear about your family, place it into God's hands. If you have been carrying fear about your health or your future, place it into God's hands. You may still need to take practical steps tomorrow. Trust does not mean ignoring responsibility. It means refusing to let responsibility become your God. You can do what is yours to do, and then you can leave the rest with God. That is enough. You are allowed to rest even when life is unfinished. You are allowed to rest even when life is unfinished. You are allowed to rest even when life is unfinished. You are allowed to smile even when you are still waiting for an answer. You are allowed to experience peace even while some things remain difficult. Peace does not require perfect circumstances. Peace requires a place to put your trust. Put your trust in God tonight. He is steady when everything else feels uncertain. He is faithful when people change. He is near when circumstances shift. He remains when everything else moves, and you can rest in Him. Father, for everyone listening tonight, I pray that the weight they have carried today would become lighter. For the person who is worried about tomorrow, give them peace tonight. For the person who feels behind in life, remind them that their journey is not a race against everyone else. For the person who is waiting, give them patience. For the person who feels lost, guide them. For the person who feels lost, remind them of your presence. For the person who feels guilty, bring mercy. For the person who is afraid, bring courage. For the person who is exhausted, bring deep rest. And for the person who does not know what to pray, let them simply know that you are near. You are our shepherd. Lead us beside still waters. Restore our souls. Teach us to trust you with tomorrow. Teach us to release yesterday. Teach us to live peacefully in today. And as we sleep, watch over us. Let our homes be filled with peace. Let our minds become quiet. Let our hearts become calm. Let our bodies receive the rest they need. And when morning comes, let us wake with renewed strength and renewed hope. Until then, let us rest. Amen. Now let the prayer become quiet. There is nothing more you need to say. You have placed your burdens before God. Leave them there. You do not need to pick them up again. If your mind tries to return to them, gently remember, God has this. God knows. God is near, and I can rest. Let those words settle. God has this. God knows. God is near, and I can rest. Again, God has this. God knows. God is near, and I can rest. The night is still. The fire is warm. The river is flowing. The shepherd is watching. You are safe to rest. You are safe to let go. You are safe to become still. There is no need to hurry toward morning. Let the night take its time. Let the hours pass quietly. Let sleep come whenever it comes. And if you drift away while listening, let yourself drift. You do not need to hold on to every word. The message has already reached your heart. You are not alone. God is near. The shepherd is near. And he will remain near through the night. So close your eyes if they are not already closed. Relax your body. Let your shoulders become heavy. Let your hands become still. Let your face soften. Let your breathing slow naturally. And remember one final truth for this moment. You do not have to carry the world tonight. You only have to rest. The Lord is your shepherd. He knows the way. He knows your heart. He knows your future. And He is with you now. Rest in that. Rest in His presence. Rest in His goodness. Rest in His mercy. Rest in His love. The shepherd is near, and you can sleep. There is nothing you need to do right now. The night is still moving quietly around you. The fire continues to glow. The river continues to flow, and the shepherd remains near. As you continue resting, allow yourself to become comfortable with the quiet. You have already placed your worries into God's hands. You have already reminded your heart that tomorrow does not belong to tonight. So remain here. Breathe, rest, and listen. There is a kind of peace that does not require every circumstance to be perfect. It is a peace that comes from knowing that even when life changes, God does not. People may change. Plans may change. Seasons may change. Opportunities may come and go. But God remains faithful. He remains present. He remains your shepherd. And tonight, that is enough. Perhaps you have spent a long time trying to understand what your life is supposed to become. Maybe you have wondered whether you are on the right path. Maybe you have questioned whether you are making the right decisions. Maybe you have looked back and wondered whether you could have chosen differently. But tonight, you do not need to answer those questions. You can simply trust the one who sees the entire road. The shepherd does not need you to know every turn. He only asks you to follow. One step, then another, and another. There will be moments when the path becomes clear. There will be moments when you need patience. There will be moments when you need courage. There will be moments when you need to wait. And there will be moments when you simply need to rest. Tonight is a moment for rest. Let yourself receive it. There is no need to feel guilty for being tired. You are human. Your body needs sleep. Your mind needs quiet. Your heart needs restoration. God understands. He created you with a need for rest. So allow yourself to rest without feeling as though you are falling behind. You are not falling behind because you are sleeping. You are not wasting time because you are still. You are not failing because you need a break. Rest is not the opposite of progress. Sometimes rest is what makes tomorrow possible. So tonight, let your body become heavy. Let the mattress beneath you support you. Let the pillow hold your head. Let the room remain quiet. You do not have to adjust anything. You do not have to find the perfect position. Simply become comfortable. The Lord is your shepherd. He leads you beside still waters. Imagine the water again. It moves beneath the moonlight. Small ripples pass across the surface. The reflection of the stars breaks apart and comes together again. The river does not stop because the night is dark. It simply continues, quietly, faithfully, without needing anyone to notice. Perhaps your life is moving in a similar way. Even when you cannot see progress, something may still be happening. Even when the season feels quiet, God may still be working. Even when you feel stuck, your roots may be growing deeper. You do not always see growth while it is happening. Sometimes you only recognize it later. So do not judge your entire life by one quiet season. Do not assume that nothing is happening simply because you cannot see it. Trust, wait, rest. The shepherd knows what he is doing. There may be things you are asking God to change. Perhaps you are asking Him to change your circumstances. Perhaps you are asking Him to change another person's heart. Perhaps you are asking Him to change your own heart. Perhaps you are asking Him to give you a new beginning. Whatever the prayer may be, remember that God hears. You may not know when the answer will come. You may not know what form the answer will take, but you can still pray. You can still trust, and you can still rest. Prayer does not always change the night immediately. Sometimes prayer changes the person walking through the night. It reminds us that we are not alone. It reminds us that we have somewhere to take our fears. It reminds us that we do not have to carry every question by ourselves. So tonight, pray simply. Father, I trust you. Father, guide me. Father, give me peace. Father, help me release what I cannot control. Father, protect the people I love. Father, give me wisdom for tomorrow. And then become still. You have spoken. Now listen. The quiet itself can become part of the prayer. There is no need to fill every moment with words. Sometimes the soul needs silence. Sometimes the heart needs a place where nothing is demanded. Let this be that place. No demands, no expectations, no performance, just rest. The Lord is my shepherd. Those words can carry you through the quiet. The Lord is my shepherd. I am not alone. The Lord is my shepherd. I do not have to know everything. The Lord is my shepherd. I do not have to control everything. The Lord is my shepherd. I can rest. Let those words become deeper than the worries. Let them become more familiar than the questions. When the mind begins to wander, return. The Lord is my shepherd. He restores my soul. He leads me beside still waters. Perhaps your heart has been thirsty for peace. Perhaps you have been searching for peace in many places, in achievement, in money, in relationships, in entertainment, in constant activity, in being busy. But none of these things can completely quiet the soul. The soul needs something deeper. It needs God. It needs His presence. It needs the reminder that our worth is not determined by what we accomplish. Tonight, you can stop searching. You can simply rest. You are already in the presence of the one who knows you completely. There is nothing you need to prove. There is nowhere you need to perform. You can simply be, and perhaps being still will remind you that you are more than your responsibilities. You are more than your job. You are more than your mistakes. You are more than your achievements. You are more than what other people think about you. You are God's creation. You are loved. You are known. And tonight, you can rest in that identity. There are moments in life when we become so focused on what we need to become that we forget to appreciate who we already are. We look toward the future and criticize the present. We think about what we lack, what we have not accomplished, what we have not received, what we have not become. But tonight, you do not need to measure yourself. You can simply be grateful for this moment. You have another breath. another night, another opportunity to rest, another morning waiting somewhere beyond the darkness. That is enough. Tomorrow will bring more opportunities. But tonight, receive this quiet gift: rest. Perhaps there is someone listening who has been carrying disappointment for a long time. Maybe something you hoped would happen never happened. Maybe you worked hard and still did not receive the result. Maybe you loved someone and were not loved in return. Maybe you gave your best and still felt overlooked. Maybe you believed a door would open and it closed instead. Disappointment can be painful because it forces us to let go of the future we imagined. And sometimes we do not only grieve what happened. We grieve what we thought would happen, the life we imagined, the relationship we imagined, the opportunity we imagined, the version of ourselves we thought we would become. If that is part of your story, bring it to God tonight. You do not have to pretend that it did not hurt. You can say, "God, I am disappointed. I do not understand. I wanted something different, but I still trust you." That is an honest prayer. And God can handle honest prayers. You do not need to hide disappointment from Him. You can bring it into His presence. And slowly, He can teach your heart that an unexpected ending does not mean the end of your story. There can still be goodness. There can still be purpose. There can still be joy. There can still be new beginnings. Sometimes we cannot see the next chapter because we are still standing in the last one. But the shepherd is already ahead. He knows what comes next. So let yourself release the need to understand everything tonight. The next chapter will come. When it does, God will be there. For now, sleep. Perhaps there is another kind of burden you have been carrying, the burden of expectations. The expectation that you should always be happy, always confident, always productive, always strong, always certain. But life does not work that way. There are days when you feel strong. There are days when you feel weak. There are days when you understand. There are days when you question. There are days when you feel close to God. There are days when He seems quiet. Your emotions will change. Your circumstances will change. But God's faithfulness does not depend on either one. So tonight, you do not need to feel a certain way. You do not need to force yourself to feel peaceful. Just allow yourself to be where you are. If you are peaceful, be peaceful. If you are tired, be tired. If you are worried, bring the worry to God. If you are sad, let Him comfort you. If you are grateful, give thanks. There is room for all of it. And through all of it, the shepherd remains. Perhaps you have been carrying guilt because you feel you should have done more today. Maybe you had a long list of things to accomplish. Maybe some things remain unfinished. Let them remain unfinished. There is no shame in that. Tomorrow is another day. You do not have to complete every task before you sleep. Your worth is not measured by how many boxes you check today. You are not a machine. You are a person. And people need rest. So let the unfinished work remain. Let the unanswered messages remain. Let the unopened emails remain. Let the plans remain. Let tomorrow handle tomorrow. Tonight your work is to rest, and God can meet you there. The Lord makes me lie down in green pastures. That verse is an invitation to stop. Imagine the green pasture. The grass is soft. The air is cool. The night is peaceful. The sheep are resting. There is no hurry. No one is running. No one is trying to get ahead. Everything is quiet. And perhaps you can imagine yourself lying there, looking toward the sky, watching the stars, feeling the cool air, listening to the river, feeling the warmth of the fire nearby. You are not required to do anything. You can simply remain. Sometimes we need to remember what it feels like to exist without accomplishing, to breathe without producing, to rest without earning, to be without proving. And God does not love you more because you accomplished more today. His love is not measured by productivity. So release that pressure. You have nothing to prove tonight. Nothing. Just rest. The shepherd is near. Perhaps your mind is still thinking about the future. Let it think for a moment, and then gently remind yourself, the future is in God's hands. I will meet it when it arrives. I do not have to meet it tonight. That simple thought can bring freedom. You can stop traveling into tomorrow. You can stop rehearsing conversations that have not happened. You can stop imagining outcomes you cannot control. Return to now. Return to the quiet. Return to the river. Return to the fire. Return to God. The present moment is where your body is, and God is here with you. Let yourself remain here. There is a peacefulness in not knowing. It may seem strange, but sometimes uncertainty can become an invitation to trust. If you knew exactly what would happen tomorrow, you might still find something else to worry about. The mind always wants more certainty, but God offers something deeper than complete information. He offers His presence. You may not know what tomorrow holds, but you know who holds tomorrow. That is enough. So release the demand for certainty. You can live without knowing everything. You can sleep without knowing everything. You can trust without knowing everything. And perhaps tonight, that is exactly what your heart needs to learn. Trust does not mean that you stop caring. It means you stop trying to control what belongs to God. You can still plan. You can still work. You can still make wise decisions. But you do not have to be consumed by them. You can take responsibility without carrying anxiety. You can be diligent without being afraid. You can care without becoming overwhelmed. And when the day ends, you can rest. The shepherd remains. There is another beautiful promise in the psalm. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. Goodness, mercy, following you, not only on the easy days, all the days. That means even the difficult days are still within God's awareness. Even the days that feel confusing, even the days that feel unfair, even the days when you do not understand what God is doing, His mercy remains. His goodness remains. You may not always recognize it immediately. Sometimes goodness appears in obvious ways. Sometimes it is hidden. Sometimes goodness is protection from something you never knew was coming. Sometimes it is a person who enters your life at exactly the right time. Sometimes it is strength you did not know you had. Sometimes it is simply another morning. Sometimes it is the ability to keep going. Sometimes it is a quiet night like this, a moment when your heart finally becomes still. So tonight, look for the small goodness. Not because everything is perfect, because even in an imperfect life, there are still gifts. A breath, a roof, a bed, a memory, a person, a prayer, a chance to begin again, a sunrise waiting beyond the night, and above all, the presence of God. Goodness and mercy, following you, even now. Perhaps you have been so focused on what is missing that you have forgotten what remains. Tonight, you do not need to solve what is missing. Simply notice what remains. God remains, hope remains, possibility remains, your story remains, tomorrow remains, and you are still here. That is enough for tonight. The shepherd is near. As the fire continues to glow, imagine its light becoming softer. The flames move slowly. The warmth remains. The river reflects the light. The trees stand quietly. The sky is filled with stars. And everything feels slower now, Your thoughts can slow too. There is nowhere to go, nothing to chase, nothing to prove. Just rest. If your eyes are open, let them become heavy. If they are already closed, keep them closed. Let your body sink deeper into comfort. Let the sounds around you become distant. You do not need to listen carefully anymore. You can allow the words to pass through your awareness. Somewhere between listening and sleeping, there is a quiet place. Let yourself drift toward it. The Lord is my shepherd. He restores my soul. He leads me beside still waters. The Lord is my shepherd. He restores my soul. He leads me beside still waters. You are safe to rest. Perhaps tonight you are carrying fear about something that may happen. Fear often lives in possibilities. What if? What if? What if? But God does not live in the possibilities you imagine. He lives in reality, and He is already present in the future you cannot see. So you do not have to live inside every possible scenario. You can live in this moment, this breath, this night, this quiet. And when tomorrow arrives, you will meet it then. God will give you what you need. Perhaps not everything you want. Perhaps not every answer immediately, but He will be there. And His presence is enough to begin. There is no need to borrow fear from a future that has not happened. Do not borrow tomorrow's trouble. Let tomorrow carry its own concerns. Tonight, receive tonight's peace. This is your moment to rest. There are things you may be able to change tomorrow. There are things you may not be able to change. Ask God for wisdom to know the difference. Give yourself permission to act where you can act, and surrender where you cannot. That balance can bring peace. You do not have to be passive. You simply have to stop carrying what is not yours. If something belongs to you, you can deal with it when the time comes. If something belongs to God, let Him hold it. Tonight, let God hold it. The shepherd knows what belongs in your hands and what belongs in His. Trust Him. Sometimes we are afraid that if we stop worrying, something bad will happen, as though worry is a form of protection. But worry cannot protect the future. It only steals peace from the present. You do not need to stay awake to keep tomorrow safe. You do not need to replay every possibility to prevent something from happening. You do not need to remain anxious to prove that you care. You can care and still sleep. You can love and still rest. You can be responsible and still become peaceful. Let God take the night watch. You can sleep. The shepherd is awake. You can sleep. The shepherd is watching. You can sleep. The shepherd knows the way. You can sleep. The shepherd is near. Perhaps those words can become the final thoughts of your waking mind. The shepherd is awake. I can sleep. The shepherd is watching. I can rest. The shepherd knows the way. I do not have to know. The shepherd is near. I am not alone. Let that rhythm become gentle. No pressure, no effort, just truth. The Lord is my shepherd. He restores my soul. He leads me beside still waters. Tonight, He is leading you toward rest. Maybe you have been through a difficult season, and you wonder whether peace will ever return. Peace may not arrive all at once. Sometimes it comes in small moments. A quiet morning, a kind conversation, a peaceful night, a prayer that finally feels honest. A moment when you realize you are no longer as afraid as you used to be. Healing can be gradual. Peace can be gradual. Restoration can be gradual. Do not demand that everything become perfect immediately. Let God work slowly if He chooses to. You do not have to rush the process. A river does not need to rush to reach the sea. A tree does not need to rush to grow. Dawn does not need to rush to become morning. Everything has its season, and your life has seasons too. You are allowed to be in a season of waiting. You are allowed to be in a season of learning. You are allowed to be in a season of rebuilding. You are allowed to be in a season of rest. Do not hate the season simply because it is not the one you expected. Ask God what He wants to teach you here, and then rest. There may be beauty here too, even in the quiet, even in the waiting, even in the uncertainty. Sometimes we only recognize the beauty of a season after it has passed. Tonight, you do not need to understand it. Simply live it. Trust God within it, and let Him lead you through. The shepherd is near. Father, thank you for the quiet of this night. Thank you for the gift of rest. Thank you for every breath. Thank you for every moment of protection that we may never have noticed. Thank you for the doors you opened. Thank you for the doors you closed. Thank you for the people you placed in our lives. Thank you for the lessons you allowed us to learn. Thank you for carrying us through days we thought we could not survive. Thank you for remaining when we felt alone. Thank you for giving us another night to rest. Tonight, we surrender our future to you. We surrender our plans. We surrender our fears. We surrender our expectations. We surrender our disappointments. We surrender our questions. We surrender the people we love. We surrender the things we cannot control. Take them from our hands. Hold them with your wisdom. Guide them with your goodness, and give us peace. Help us to trust you when we cannot see. Help us to wait when we want to hurry. Help us to rest when we want to control. Help us to release when we want to hold on. Help us to forgive when we are hurt. Help us to hope when we are discouraged. Help us to remember that you are near. Let your peace guard our minds tonight. Let your presence fill the quiet places in our hearts. Let every anxious thought become softer. Let every fear become smaller. Let every burden become lighter. And let sleep come naturally. Amen. Now, there is nothing more you need to say. The prayer is finished. The day is finished. You can rest. Let your thoughts become quieter. Let your breathing remain gentle. Let your body become heavy. The river continues. The fire continues. The night continues. And God remains. You do not need to watch the hours pass. You do not need to know how much time is left. You can simply drift. If sleep comes now, let it come. If it comes slowly, let it come slowly. If your mind wanders, return gently. The Lord is my shepherd. He restores my soul. He leads me beside still waters. The Lord is my shepherd. He restores my soul. He is with me in the valley. He is with me on the mountain. He is with me in the waiting. He is with me in the uncertainty. He is with me in the silence. He is with me tonight. And because He is with me, I can rest. You can rest. You can let go. You can stop trying to figure everything out. The answers can wait. The plans can wait. The work can wait. The future can wait. For now, simply breathe. The warmth of the fire remains. The sound of water remains. The quiet of the night remains. And the shepherd remains near. There is no need to be afraid of tomorrow. Tomorrow will arrive when it is time. And when it arrives, you will not meet it alone. God will already be there. So sleep tonight, knowing that tomorrow is not empty. It is already held. Your future is not floating without direction. God knows it. God sees it. God is present within it. You can rest. The shepherd is near. As your thoughts become softer, remember the goodness that has followed you. Remember the mercy that has carried you. Remember the moments when you thought you could not continue, yet somehow you did. Remember the mornings that came after nights you thought would never end. Remember that difficult seasons eventually change. Remember that you have survived days you once feared. Remember that God has been faithful. And if you cannot remember anything else, remember this: you are still here. You are still breathing. You are still capable of hope. You are still loved. And God is still near. Let that be enough. Tonight, you do not need a perfect future. You only need a peaceful present. And this moment can be peaceful. Let it be peaceful. Let your heart settle. Let your mind soften. Let your body rest. The shepherd is watching. The shepherd is guiding. The shepherd is protecting. The shepherd is restoring. And you can sleep. There is a gentle morning waiting somewhere beyond this darkness. You do not need to hurry toward it. Let the night take its time. The darkness is not your enemy. It is simply the quiet space between today and tomorrow. A place where the world slows down. A place where the body repairs. A place where the mind can release. A place where the soul can breathe. So stay here. Rest here. Let yourself become still. The Lord is your shepherd. You shall not want. He makes you lie down in green pastures. He leads you beside still waters. He restores your soul. He leads you in paths of righteousness. Even when the valley becomes dark, He is with you. His rod and His staff comfort you. His goodness follows you. His mercy follows you. And you will dwell in His presence. Tonight, you can rest beneath that promise. You can close your eyes. You can release the day. You can release tomorrow. You can release the fear. You can release the pressure. You can release the need to know. You can release the need to control. And simply trust. The shepherd is near. The shepherd is faithful. The shepherd is good. And you are safe to rest. Let the fire become softer in your imagination. Let the river become quieter. Let the stars remain above you. Let the cool night air move gently through the trees. Nothing is urgent. Nothing is demanding. Nothing needs to happen right now. You can sleep. You can rest. You can be still. God is with you, and He will remain with you through every hour of this night. If you wake, He will still be there. If you dream, He will still be there. If you sleep deeply, He will still be there. Morning will come, and when it does, His mercy will still be there. But for now, do not think about morning. Think only of rest. Think only of peace. Think only of the quiet presence of God. The Lord is my shepherd. He restores my soul. He leads me beside still waters. I am not alone. I am not forgotten. I am not without hope. I can rest. I can breathe. I can sleep. The shepherd is near. And tonight, that is enough. There is nothing left that you need to carry tonight. The night has become quiet. The fire continues to glow softly. The river continues to move beside the peaceful field. And the shepherd is still near. You have spent enough time thinking about tomorrow. You have carried enough questions. You have carried enough worries. For now, let them rest. Let them remain in God's hands. You do not need to pick them up again. You do not need to solve anything else tonight. You can simply remain here, resting, breathing, listening, and remembering that you are not alone. The Lord is your shepherd. He has been with you through the moments you understood and the moments you did not. He has been with you through the days when you felt strong and the days when you felt completely exhausted. He has been with you through answered prayers and unanswered prayers. He has been with you through beginnings and endings. He has been with you through joy and disappointment. And He is with you now. Perhaps tonight you needed to hear that again. God is with you. Not only in the places where everything is going well, not only when you feel confident, not only when your prayers are answered exactly as you hoped. He is with you here, in the quiet, in the uncertainty, in the waiting, in the darkness, in the stillness. He is near. So allow your heart to become quiet. You do not have to force peace. Simply make room for it. Let the sound of the river become part of the silence. Let the gentle fire become part of the darkness. Let the cool night air remind you that this moment is real. You are here. You are breathing. You are resting. And God is near. Sometimes the greatest gift we can give ourselves is permission to stop searching, to stop comparing, to stop worrying, to stop replaying, to stop predicting, to stop trying to control every detail. Tonight, stop. Let the day be finished. Whatever happened today has already happened. You can learn from it tomorrow. You can apologize tomorrow if an apology is needed. You can make a plan tomorrow if a plan is needed. You can take action tomorrow if action is needed. But tonight, you can rest. There is wisdom in knowing when to act and when to wait. There is wisdom in knowing when to speak and when to remain silent. And there is wisdom in knowing when the only thing left to do is sleep. So sleep. Let yourself rest without guilt. Let yourself rest without feeling behind. Let yourself rest without wondering whether you have done enough. You have done enough for today. The shepherd does not measure your worth by your productivity. Your value does not rise and fall with your accomplishments. You are not more loved because you had a perfect day. You are not less loved because you struggled. God's love is not something you have to earn every morning and protect every night. His grace is already there. His mercy is already there. His presence is already there. So receive it. Let yourself be held by the truth that you are loved. Perhaps you have spent years trying to become enough. Enough for your family. Enough for your friends. Enough for your work. Enough for society. Enough for yourself. But tonight, you can stop measuring yourself. You can stop asking whether you are enough. You can simply rest in God's presence. He knows you completely. And He still calls you His. He knows your weaknesses. He knows your mistakes. He knows the things you are proud of and the things you wish you could forget. He knows your fears. He knows your dreams. He knows the things you tell everyone and the things you tell no one. And still, He remains near. That is grace. And tonight, grace can become your resting place. You don't have to hide. You don't have to pretend. You don't have to perform. You can simply be. The Lord is my shepherd. He restores my soul. Let that truth settle into the deepest part of your heart, not as something you need to analyze, not as something you need to memorize tonight, simply as something you can trust. The Lord is my shepherd. He knows where I am. He knows where I am going. He knows what I need. He knows what I fear. He knows what I cannot see. And He is near. You can rest. Perhaps there is still something you are afraid will happen tomorrow. Maybe you have a difficult conversation. Maybe you have an important meeting. Maybe you have a decision to make. Maybe you are waiting for news. Maybe you are facing a change. Whatever tomorrow contains, you do not have to experience it tonight. Tomorrow will come in its own time, and when it comes, you will have what you need for that moment. You may not have all the answers. You may not know exactly what to say, but you will have another opportunity to pray. Another opportunity to ask for wisdom. Another opportunity to take one step. That is all life asks of us sometimes. One step. Not the entire journey. One step, and then another. The shepherd knows the road. Let him lead. There is a quiet confidence in saying, I don't know what tomorrow will bring, but I know that God will be there. I don't know how this situation will unfold, but I know that God will be there. I don't know when the answer will come, but I know that God will be there. I don't know how everything will work out, but I know that God will be there. And because God will be there, I can rest tonight. Let that become your prayer. God will be there. God will be there. God will be there. You do not have to go ahead of Him. You do not have to live tomorrow before tomorrow arrives. Stay here. Stay in this moment. Stay beside the still waters. Let the river flow. Let the fire burn. Let the night remain quiet. And let your heart become still. There may be someone listening tonight who feels as though they have lost their direction. Perhaps you do not know what you want anymore. Perhaps the path you thought you would follow did not work out. Perhaps you are starting again. Perhaps you feel behind. Perhaps you are wondering whether you will ever find your way. Remember the shepherd. Sheep do not need to know every turn of the path. They simply need to recognize the voice of the one leading them. And perhaps tonight, you do not need a complete map. You only need to stay close to God. Ask Him to guide your next step, not the next 10 years, not the next 100 decisions, just the next step. He can reveal the path as you walk it. And sometimes the path becomes clear only after we begin moving. So do not be afraid of not knowing everything. There is nothing wrong with being in a season of uncertainty. God can still lead you there. He can still grow you there. He can still protect you there. He can still prepare you there. And He can still give you peace there. You are not lost simply because you do not know the destination. The shepherd knows, and He is near. Maybe you are waiting for a new season. You want something to change. You want the circumstances to become easier. You want a new opportunity. You want a new beginning. You want to feel hopeful again. Waiting can feel like standing still. But sometimes, standing still is exactly where God wants you. There are lessons that cannot be learned through constant movement. There are things that become visible only when the heart becomes quiet. There are answers that arrive only after we stop forcing them. So if you are waiting, do not despise the waiting. Let God use it. Let Him teach you patience. Let Him teach you trust. Let Him teach you that your life does not have to move at the speed of your anxiety. You can wait peacefully. You can wait faithfully. You can wait without being consumed by fear. And while you wait, you can rest. The shepherd is near. Perhaps there is something you need to forgive. Maybe another person. Maybe yourself. Forgiveness does not mean pretending that nothing happened. It does not mean saying that pain was acceptable. It does not mean that every relationship must be restored. Sometimes, forgiveness simply means refusing to allow yesterday to control tomorrow. You can release the desire to replay the past. You can release the desire to make someone understand what they did. You can release the need to receive an apology before you are allowed to have peace. Bring the hurt to God. Let Him deal with what you cannot. You can say, "Father, I give you this pain. I give you this memory. I give you this person. I give you the anger I have carried. I give you the sadness. I give you the disappointment. Help me release what I cannot change, and help me walk forward. Then rest. You do not have to complete the entire process tonight. Healing takes time. Forgiveness can take time. Peace can take time. Give yourself permission to grow slowly. The shepherd is patient. He knows your pace. He knows what your heart can carry. He knows when you need to move forward and when you need to stop. Trust Him. There may also be something you need to forgive yourself for. Maybe you made a mistake. Maybe you trusted the wrong person. Maybe you wasted time. Maybe you made a decision that hurt someone. Maybe you walked away from something important. Maybe you are carrying shame from a chapter you wish you could erase. But you cannot rewrite yesterday. You can only decide what you will do with it. You can learn. You can change. You can make things right where possible. You can ask forgiveness. And then you can continue. Do not turn regret into a permanent punishment. If God is willing to give you mercy, allow yourself to receive it. You are not required to remain the same person forever. Tomorrow can be different. You can make a different choice. You can speak differently. You can live differently. You can begin again. But tonight, rest. You do not need to rebuild your entire life before sunrise. Just sleep. Morning will bring another opportunity. The Lord is your shepherd. He restores your soul. Perhaps tonight your soul needs restoration more than your circumstances need solutions. Sometimes we focus so much on fixing what is outside that we forget what is happening inside. We want the situation to change. We want the person to change. We want the money to change. We want the job to change. We want the future to change. But sometimes God begins by changing the heart that is walking through the situation. He gives patience. He gives wisdom. He gives courage. He gives peace. He gives strength. And sometimes that is the miracle we need first. So tonight, do not demand that everything outside you become perfect. Ask God to give you peace within. Father, give me peace even while I wait. Give me strength even while I am uncertain. Give me hope even while I cannot see the answer. Give me patience even while I want to hurry. Give me trust even while I do not understand. And let me sleep tonight knowing that you are near. Amen. Now return to the quiet. The prayer is finished. The words can become softer. The fire can become softer. The river can become softer. Everything can slow down. You don't have to follow every sentence. You don't have to remember every thought. Let the voice simply remain in the background. Let the peaceful sounds continue. If your mind wanders, let it wander. And when you notice it, gently return. The Lord is my shepherd. He restores my soul. He leads me beside still waters. Perhaps those words are all you need now. The Lord is my shepherd. I am not alone. He restores my soul. I can be still. He leads me beside still waters. I can rest. The shepherd is near. I can sleep. Let your body become heavier. Let your hands become still. Let your shoulders soften. Let your face relax. There is nothing you need to hold tightly. Release. Release the tension. Release the pressure. Release the day. Release the future. Release the need to understand. Release the need to control. And breathe. Slowly, naturally, peacefully. You are here. God is here. And that is enough. Perhaps you can imagine the sky becoming even darker now. The stars appear brighter. The moon rests above the mountains. The river reflects a faint silver light. The fire continues to burn. The sheep are sleeping. The trees move gently in the breeze. Everything is at rest, and you can be at rest too. Nothing in this scene is rushing. Nothing is trying to become tomorrow. Everything is simply existing in the moment. Perhaps that is what you need. Not another plan, not another strategy, not another answer. Just this moment, just this breath, just this quiet, just God. The Lord is my shepherd. He knows the way. He knows my heart. He knows my future. He knows my needs. And He is near. There may be things you are still worried about. Let them remain in His hands. If they return to your mind, simply say, God, you have this. God, you know. God, I trust you. And then return to rest. You may have to repeat it many times. That is okay. Trust is not always one dramatic moment. Sometimes trust is a quiet decision repeated throughout the night. I trust you. I trust you. I trust you. And gradually, the heart learns to believe what the mind keeps forgetting. God is faithful. God is near. God is good. And I can rest. There is a future beyond this night. There is a morning beyond this darkness. There are possibilities you cannot see yet. There are conversations you have not had. There are people you have not met. There are moments you have not experienced. There are prayers you have not yet seen answered. There are joys you cannot imagine yet. Your story is not finished. Do not let tonight's worries convince you that they know the ending. They do not. Only God sees the whole story. So sleep. Let tomorrow remain a mystery. Sometimes mystery is not something to fear. Sometimes it is simply something to trust. The shepherd knows. You do not have to. The shepherd sees. You do not have to. The shepherd guides. You can follow. The shepherd protects. You can rest. The shepherd restores. You can sleep. Perhaps you have been afraid that something good will never happen again. Maybe you have experienced loss. Maybe you have experienced rejection. Maybe something you loved ended, and now you are afraid to hope. But hope does not require certainty. Hope simply says that the future can contain something you cannot see yet. You do not need to know what it is. You can simply leave room for it. Leave room for goodness. Leave room for healing. Leave room for joy. Leave room for new beginnings. Leave room for God. Tonight, you do not need to force hope. Just do not close the door on it. Let tomorrow remain possible. Let God remain possible. Let goodness remain possible. And sleep. The shepherd is still leading. Perhaps one day you will look back on this night and realize that you were being carried through a season you thought you had to carry alone. Perhaps you will realize that the strength you needed came little by little. Perhaps you will realize that the delay protected you. Perhaps you will realize that the ending made room for something new. You cannot know that tonight. And that is okay. You do not need to understand the meaning of every chapter while you are still living it. Some things only make sense in hindsight. Tonight, simply live this moment. Trust God with the meaning. Trust Him with the future. Trust Him with the things you cannot explain. And rest. The Lord is my shepherd. He restores my soul. He leads me beside still waters. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Those words can remain with you through the night. You are with me. God is with me. I am not alone. Even here, even now, even in the uncertainty, even in the darkness, God is with me. Let that become your final answer to fear. God is with me. When you do not know what to do, God is with me. When you do not know where to go, God is with me. When you do not know what will happen, God is with me. When you feel tired, God is with me. When you feel alone, God is with me. When you are waiting, God is with me. And because God is with me, I can rest. You can rest. Let the night become quieter. Let the river become softer. Let the fire glow gently. Let the stars remain above. There is no urgency. There is no need to hurry. The morning will come, and when it does, mercy will be waiting. Goodness will still be there. God will still be there. But tonight, you do not need to think about morning. Just rest. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness. He is with me in the valley. He comforts me. His goodness follows me. His mercy follows me. And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Let those words settle deeply. Goodness follows you. Mercy follows you. Not because every day will be easy, but because God remains faithful. Not because you will never experience difficulty, but because you will never be abandoned. Not because you will always understand, but because God always sees. You can rest in that. Perhaps you are ready to sleep now. If so, let yourself drift. There is nothing else you need to accomplish. There is no need to stay awake. There is no need to listen carefully. Let the words fade into the background. Let the music and the quiet sounds remain. Let your breathing become slower. Let your body become heavier. Let your thoughts become softer. And if sleep comes, welcome it. Sleep peacefully. Sleep without guilt. Sleep without fear. Sleep knowing that God is near. If you wake during the night, remember the same truth. The shepherd is near. You can return to the quiet. You can return to your breathing. You can return to God's word. You can rest again. You do not need to be afraid of the night. The night belongs to God too. He watches over you. He knows every hour. He knows every moment. He knows every breath. And He remains faithful. So sleep, rest, breathe, trust. The shepherd is near. Father, as this night comes toward its quietest hours, thank you for being here. Thank you for every person listening. Thank you for the opportunity to rest beneath the truth of your word. We place this entire night into your hands. Protect every home. Comfort every heart. Calm every anxious mind. Give rest to every tired body. Bring peace to every person who feels alone. Bring hope to every person who feels discouraged. Bring comfort to every person who is grieving. Bring courage to every person facing tomorrow. Bring wisdom to every person who must make an important decision. Bring patience to every person who is waiting. And remind every listener that they do not have to walk through life alone. You are our shepherd. Lead us, restore us, protect us, guide us, and keep us close to you. We surrender the things we cannot control. We surrender the questions without answers. We surrender the future. We surrender the past. We surrender the past, and we receive your peace. Let our sleep be peaceful. Let our dreams be gentle. Let our bodies be restored. Let our minds become quiet. And when morning comes, let us rise with renewed strength. May we remember that your mercy is new. May we remember that your goodness has not disappeared. May we remember that you were with us through the night. And may we walk into the new day with trust. In Jesus' name, amen. Now there is nothing more you need to say. Nothing more you need to solve. Nothing more you need to carry. You can simply rest. The fire is still burning. The river is still flowing. The trees are still moving gently in the night breeze. The stars are still above you, and God is still near. Let your thoughts become quiet. Let your body become still. Let sleep come naturally. The Lord is your shepherd. You are safe in His hands. You are loved. You are known. You are not forgotten. You are not alone, and you can rest. Before you drift completely into sleep, if these peaceful Bible readings have brought comfort to your heart tonight, consider subscribing to the channel and joining us again whenever you need a quiet place to rest with God's Word. You can return here tomorrow night. You can return whenever your mind feels restless. 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 breathe. And if this time of prayer and scripture has helped you tonight, you can leave a simple comment below and let us know where you are listening from. Someone else may read your comment and realize that they are not the only person somewhere in the world lying awake tonight, searching for peace. We are all carrying different stories, different worries, different hopes, different prayers. But tonight, we can share this quiet moment together. And above all, we can remember that the same God is near to every heart that calls upon Him. So wherever you are tonight, may peace find you. May God's presence surround you. May His word remain in your heart. May His goodness follow you. May His mercy cover you. And may you wake tomorrow knowing that you are not walking into the new day alone. The shepherd is already there. For now, let your eyes close. Let your breathing become slow and peaceful. Let the last thoughts of this night be thoughts of trust. You don't need to know what tomorrow will bring. You only need to know that God will be there. The Lord is my shepherd. He restores my soul. He leads me beside still waters. He is with me. He is watching over me. He is holding what I cannot hold. He is carrying what I cannot carry. And I can rest. I can let go. I can be still. I can sleep. The night is quiet. The fire is warm. The river is flowing. The stars are shining. The shepherd is near. And you are safe to rest. Good night. Rest peacefully. And may the peace of God remain with you through every hour of this night.